We want to welcome our Hastings Catholic Schools community to our Monday morning COVID conversations. Today we are going to be focusing a little bit on preschool and daycare, and then talking about some general Hastings Catholic Schools questions that have come through as well. So I want to encourage you to continue to watch our website, which is Hastings Catholic Schools /COVID, or HastingsCatholicSchools.org/COVID. And it's also on the front page of our website on one of the pictures that rotates. If you see the COVID, just click on that. That'll take you to our website where all of these videos will be. There's information to submit your questions, or anytime you have questions, you can also contact any of our principals and they'll help you out as well. So today with me, I have Shelly Wright, who is our director of preschool, and Heather Nabower, who's our director of childcare. I always say daycare, so childcare, and of course Mrs. Rasmussen, who's our principal here at St. Michael. So thank you guys for being here. Let's just get started talking a little bit about just the excitement of preschool. You know, preschool is one of everybody's favorites. You can't help but love those little kids, and just some of the things you guys are excited for this year with preschool and with daycare.
Well, it seems like it's been a long time since we've been in school, so it'll be nice just to hear the little voices in the room again. And teachers are getting together this week to plan for August, and we are starting early, so we have 2 more weeks we get to spend with the little ones.
Yeah, that is right. Normally you start after Labor Day.
Yes,
that's right.
yes.
So you're starting on the first day of school with everyone else.
Yep.
That'll be great.
So,
And Heather, what about you with childcare?
Well, same thing. We've been missing all the kids, so we're really excited to see everybody come back in and see how their summers went, see how their time off went. One of the biggest changes to childcare this year is that we're available to be open as early as 6 a.m. and then we still close at 6 p.m. So we've just extended our hours a little bit more in the morning to help families out that need to bring kids a little bit earlier.
Yeah, that'll be wonderful for those families that have to go early. And how does that work, since I don't have a little one? Did they let you know daily or a week in advance, or how does that work?
We need to know at least 24 hours in advance, because we'll be open based on a child's schedule. So if the first child isn't expected till 7 a.m., then we won't open the doors till 7 a.m. So it just depends on the day's schedule.
Great, great. That is a great opportunity for the families. All right, so let's maybe start the COVID conversation now. Some of the changes, let's just talk through some of the work you guys have been putting in about what's going to change this year in your 2 areas with preschool and childcare with our COVID restrictions. And, you know, all of us are under different guidelines, and I know our littles, you know, that under 5 and under have different guidelines, and Mrs. Rasmussen has to do with her bigger kids, and so everybody's having to follow the guidelines that are directed down to us. So maybe share some of the things you guys are looking at, the changes that families and kids will see.
okay, well, this year, before the child can enter the preschool room, they'll have to have their temperature taken. And as soon as they come in, they'll wash their hands, hang up their book bag. If they're not required to wear a mask, but if they would like to have one, you know, we're not going to tell them no, as long as they feel comfortable with wearing it. Snacks wise, each week each child brings snack for the whole class for the week, and it could have been, you know, tried to keep it healthy, homemade, but this year with, you know, everything going on, it'll have to be store-bought, pre-packaged. They'll still bring for the whole class.
Okay.
So that's part of it, I guess, so far.
Yeah.
And our drop-off routine will be very similar. Kids, when they come in, we'll meet them at the door, take their temperatures, they'll wash their hands, hang their stuff up. The parents won't be checking them in this year. We will just write down the time that they come in, and then one of our staff will put them into the computer. With snacks, it's a little bit different from last year. We used to give a couple different options. This year we're just going to have one option, and it's going to be served to them as they're sitting, instead of having the kids come up and pick what they want. Drop off, or pick up, sorry, is going to be kind of the same thing with the computer. The staff will write down what time the parent picks up, and then we'll put that into the computer. We're trying to make it a little bit easier, especially for the school-age kids with their backpacks in the hallway. Every family is going to have an assigned spot in the hallway. There's going to be a little sticker on the wall with the last name, and that's where they can find their child's backpack.
That would be great. Yeah, that's a great way to keep things organized. And mom and dads will stay outside or stay by the door?
Well, for pickup, we are asking parents to it'll be easier for them to come in, but we are asking that they wear masks when they come in.
Okay.
But yeah, so they'll just check in with us and we'll let them know which part of the building their child is in, and then they'll be able to go get them.
So then all of our adult visitors will just ask them to mask up,
Right.
just to keep those germs contained, so.
We will also too for preschool, that probably at least the first week or two when the parents drop off the preschooler, that one parent can come into the room to help ease the transition in case the kids are having a tough time. And then dismissal too, we will dismiss from the doors on Crate.
And the doors, and the parents can come up and meet them, so that's nice. And so again, that first week or so, someone could come in if the child's having a harder time, and they can be there with them, so that's nice.
Yes.
Yeah, that does make it work. And so then those temperatures, will they be taken again with coming back to childcare? When they're coming back over, they've already had their temperature taken at the school, so will you re-temp them when they come over?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
No, unless the only time we would is if, a teacher would say something that, maybe the child has been acting a little off or something, then we might do a double check just to make sure that they haven't picked up a fever throughout
Throughout the day. Yeah.
And I think in our school plan, when the risk dial, if it moved into the orange, that's when we would start
A different time.
checking twice.
Yeah, that's a great point.
As
So
long as we're in yellow, it'll be once a day.
just once a day when they come over. What about if now some of your kids may be riding that bus over in the mornings if they're dropped off at St. Cecilia.
We encourage them to wear masks on the bus because they're in a bus and you don't have the ability to spread them out quite as much. So even the preschoolers, we're recommending that they wear a mask just at least on the bus ride.
Yeah, good. And then they'll come over and then just do the same. Washing hands, we'll probably be washing hands many times throughout the day with those littles. Now I know last week or 2 weeks ago, we talked to the custodial staff and they talked about how they're gonna be, their process for cleansing and keeping things clean and just throughout the day. What are you guys looking at as you transition classes and kids? I'm sure you'll do some different things.
We'll be doing lots of wiping down tables and toys and cubbies, and I know Denise is going to come in and fog the room after each session is over with before the next group comes in also.
Great, that'll be wonderful. And that is, if you remember, or if you didn't see that video, that fogger leaves that mist that then cleanses everything that fog touches. So that's a great tool to have. So great, and I'm sure with yours too, with all just lots of extra wiping down you'll be doing.
Yeah, we'll come in and we'll disinfect everything at 11 because that's when we get the switch between the morning childcare preschool kids and the afternoon preschool the preschool switch. So we'll disinfect between that. And then anytime there's a change, like as we transition from one activity to another, we'll do a quick spray. Another part of the childcare program is letting kids have the option to teach them independence. They get to choose which area they play in, and they like to change areas. So we're going to limit how many times they can change an area, and then we'll make sure they wash their hands between switching from one area to the next.
Great. I know this week is our big open house. I think we start a week from today, so our days are limited, but maybe talk about, and I'll ask Mrs. Rasmussen too, because this will be the whole preschool through 5th grade, about what open house is gonna look like and kind of the processes. I'll have you guys start kind of where your kids will be and your process for open house, and then we'll go over to Mrs. Rasmussen.
Well, in a normal open house, we would have everybody together, but with everything going on, we are going to actually be meeting in the gym, and parents will pick up their preschool packets with all their paperwork they need to fill out. And if they want to bring their preschooler and take them in and kind of look at the room, maybe get some pictures, they're more than welcome to do that.
Great. So teachers will be there. That'll be a great time to get kind of that first day picture, just the picture with the teacher that night, because they'll be spread out a little bit more. Great. And Mrs. Rasmussen, what's your open house?
Yeah, open houses for preschool through 5th grade this year, since we're starting on August 17th altogether. So that evening, we've sent out an email to parents with the first letter of your last name determines, your 15-minute interval. The plan was approved by the health department, and while you're waiting for your time, there'll be tropical snow out in the parking lot, so that'll be a good time to get to visit and just stay distanced from each other while you're enjoying that out in the parking lot. But yeah, and we would love for parents to come in and take those first day photos in the classroom with teachers that evening, and then on the first day of school we'll have the teachers come outside to the families and maybe have a few places for some photo ops outside on that first day, so we can lessen the traffic into the building.
That's
So,
great. That's a great plan.
if we have some littles that are struggling, though, we understand that they might need some help coming in, and we would just appreciate masks that morning if they're needing to enter the building on the first day. So
Great, wonderful. I think that's a great plan to spread the kids out and have some time for each one with their class, so that's really good. One of our questions that we had submitted was about, and I know Mrs. Rasmussen, you deal with this daily with all the littles and their sniffles and allergies or an ear infection or whatever they might have, but kind of what again are our recommendations and guidelines that we have to use on when a kid goes home. And I know we just got a document, it came out late Thursday. I think the first time we all looked at it was Friday morning in a meeting, and there were changes from the health department that we had been planning all summer on one document, now a new document's here. So, and I would bet we're going to talk about changes every single time we meet. But maybe talk a little bit about that, some of these new guidelines that came out Friday from our South Heartland district that we have, the regulations we have to follow on kind of that, you know, if my kid has a sniffle, I think they have allergies. What are you going to follow?
Sure. Well, I would tell our parents, just really trust your gut. We've already had an incident during summer school. It's like, you know, pretty sure this is a sinus infection, and it's like, great, bring them then. You know, I mean, parents know their kids if they're allergy prone, those kinds of things. So, but the main ones that has always been the case is the fever. We exclude kids when they have a fever, and that's been the way it's always been. If they have a few other symptoms like the sore throat or the loss of taste, the shortness of breath, you know, those would be kind of concerning ones that, you know, so if they have a couple of those other major symptoms that they'll need to get checked out. At STM 101, I just stood up and told parents that 72 hours and then they get to come back. Well, when we got this document, now it's back to the 24 hours that we've always practiced before. So that was a big change. So at STM 101, I gave them the information that was current at that point in time, and now here it is a few days later, and now it's 24 instead of 72. So we'll just follow.
We'll just follow, and that would be 24 hours of no fever.
Yes.
That when you're not taking ibuprofen or Tylenol. So kind of the same exact rules we've been following every year or so. Absolutely. And I think we'll have this all updated too on our guideline and our flow charts. Again, you can find that all on our website, our HastingsCatholicSchools.org/COVID, or just going to our front page and finding it. This will be all updated. In fact, this form with this nice yellow box and the blue boxes that came from our health district, that'll be on there as well. So, and as you mentioned, I think, you know, if, you know, I've got one with lots of allergies. So when they've got that sniffle or that little cough, I usually know that that's that dry allergy cough that he gets. But if that taste or smell is a big one, you know, I think if we see that happening or significant respiratory problems of breathing, those are going to be those ones that stand out. And I think we'll just probably all walk each other through it. You know, we'll all go through all of this together because it's going to be new to all of us. We'll continue to follow these guidelines and work with you. So I'm sure you're going to probably take on a role of partners this year too, trying to help us through.
Well, thankfully, the school nurses' time has been extended, so there'll be another full day. So that will be very helpful to us. So
good. Yeah, Kyla Linda Q is our school nurse at both schools, and she does a really nice job and is so good with her research. So she'll be there to help us through. So good. Any other things you guys want to share with preschool before we close today?
Just excited to get back into it. I miss seeing those little ones all the time. So.
And how many total classes do you guys have? a preschool. What is
There's
there?
6 preschool, well, 5 this year.
5 preschool
Yeah,
sections,
there's-
so lots of little kids
Yes,
coming through,
yes.
so good. Well, we're excited to get the year going and to see all you families on Thursday night at our open house. And if you have any questions, you can always contact Mrs. Wright, Mrs. Nabower, and of course, Mrs. Rasmussen is always here for all of your questions. So we thank you for tuning in. Please check out our website. There's also an email on there where you can submit questions that you might have. Thank you, and we'll talk to you next time.